Welcome and thank you for choosing BusinessMind. You're going to receive an email with your username and a temporary password. The first thing we recommend you do is reset your password. So from the BusinessMind login window, you're going to see a reset password link. If you click this, we're going to send you an email that's going to guide you in resetting your password. Once you've reset your password, go ahead and dive into BusinessMind. Log in with your credentials. When you first log in, there is a little bit of housekeeping we would like you to do. A couple settings to set. From the BusinessMind homepage, click on the gear icon in the upper right hand corner. Here, you will find a device label. This is where you want to set your computer's name. So for example, this is in the main office. So I will set this workstation as main office. This is great if you need to search for where a specific transaction occurred. Another setting to set is use simple login mode. What this will do is allow you to select your username from a drop-down menu. This way you don't have to type it in. Once you set these, click Save Device Preferences. After you've clicked Save, go ahead and click back on the BusinessMind link in the main menu, and that will bring you back to the BusinessMind homepage. Now that we have those settings set, let's take a look at the BusinessMind homepage. It has a few sections: inventory, sales, workshop, contacts, a tool icon, shopping cart icon, and a couple other that I'll get into a little bit later. A lot of folks always say, hey, I just got BusinessMind, what should I do next? Well, contacts are a great place to start. You're going to need your vendors, your suppliers, entered into the system so that you can start adding your inventory. So this is a great place to start. So let's go ahead and add a supplier. So we have a create new contact, which is creating a person, and create new organization, which will create a company. So let's go ahead and click on create a new organization. Let us name the company, give the company name. And there's a whole bunch of other fields we could fill out. We could set some tags, we can set some alerts, backgrounds, we could add phone numbers. Go ahead and add a phone number here. And let's change the label on that. We could add more phone numbers, we could add emails, websites. You can add as many things as you want. Let's go ahead and add an address also. All right, so let's say you'll notice when I put in the postal code and tab through, it automatically fills in the city, state, and country info. Once you have all the info that you want, you hit the save button, and this organization has been added. Let's head back into contacts and actually click on all organizations. Now, in my system, I do have a couple of organizations in here, whereas your system, you will start off with no organization. So we do see a couple in here because I did want to add a few more examples. Well, let's go ahead and add a person also. So let's go ahead and say create new contact, and let's add Jack Sparrow. You might see a theme here. So that's the display name. First name Jack, last name Sparrow. And again, we can add some phone numbers, some emails, an address. And let's just put in a random zip there. There we go. And again, we could add some notable dates if we'd like. Jack Sparrow's birthday. I don't actually know when that is. I'm just going to choose some random dates. All right. So you could set up a contact, hit the save button to save. And again, if we go ahead and look at our contact list, you can see these contacts. There's Jack Sparrow that I added, and I've added a few others earlier. But adding contacts like this, it's easy. It's actually fairly quick. But you may want or need to import your contacts. This is very handy when first setting up BusinessMind. So we do have a contact import feature, and directions for how to use that feature are located right here in our Help Center. So if we hit this little life vest here and say Help Center, we can search for contact import. there it is. It's going to pop up. We click on that, and this will give you step-by-step instructions on how to download the template file for this and how to fill it out and how to import it into your BusinessMind system. And something that we always recommend is feel free to send your file to our support staff at support@dcit.com to review before you go ahead and import it in. They could take a look at it, make sure you're doing it well. In fact, maybe as you're setting it up, you send it over to them so that they can make sure you're setting it up properly. You don't want to set up a file with 1,000 contacts and find out that you did it wrong. Set it up with 10, send it to support. They'll give you the thumbs up or let you know what you may be doing wrong. All right, so now that we have some contacts in, what's the next step? Well, we need to get our inventory in. Let's head over to the inventory homepage. All right, so let us receive some inventory from our supplier. So when we click receive from supplier, we come to the receiving screen. Now, this is why having your suppliers, your vendors, in the system beforehand is important, because you will need to select that vendor from this list. So in the supplier field, if I start typing a vendor name, it's going to find it from our contact list, and then I can select it. So that is very important. That is why you go with the contacts with your suppliers first, so that this way then you can add your inventory. All right, so the next thing that's important on the screen is supply type. Well, are these items that you're adding that you've purchased from your supplier, or are they on consignment from your supplier? And you have your two options. In this case, I'm going to add some purchased item. The receiving ref ID, this generally would be used for the invoice number. Now, if you're just getting started and you're adding inventory that you already own, you could just leave this blank or put in some information, because this field is searchable. Later on, when you're using the system and let's say you go to a show and you purchase some inventory, and when they ship it to you, they send you that invoice has an invoice number, you would go ahead and type that information here. Again, a little bit of a different process when you're first starting out. So again, you could fill in any information here. I'm going to leave it blank in this case. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to put the vendor name in, and I'm going to put 1. This is my first import for them, putting in some inventory. Over here, if you have your tags set up to print, then you'd want this checked so you could print some tags. If you don't, you could uncheck it, or if you don't want tags. And receiving notes, again, if you had some information you wanted to put in there. This is the top section. Once this is filled out, you move to the middle section. You can see the little bar, a little square around there. The middle section is for the vendor style number, the model number. This is how you would call your supplier and reorder the item. So let's go ahead and start typing something in here. Let's see, 78. 123 or 351. There you go. That is the supplier's vendor style number. And you'll notice here that it was searching. Let me actually go back. So when I started typing, see, it started to find some stuff, because if I was reordering something, I can choose that. But again, in this video, we're assuming that we're just starting out. So we type in the information, and then we're going to say create new model, because we haven't had this put into BusinessMind yet. Next, we come down to this bottom section, and up here we could put in the quantity, the total costs, and pricing. You could set a description, bracelet, notes, tag data, depending if you have your tag printer set up and it's ready to go, you could start printing tags. You might need some extra tag data. Let's add a little more description here. You'll also see some tracking information. Tracking information, again, is something that is settings that you need to put in here to populate these lists. So these lists do not come populated. You populate them based off of your needs. And easy way to figure out how to set that up is to come here. Let's type in tracking. What are the tracking 0, 1, and 2 fields, and how are they used? This article will explain to you how to get these populated So yeah, again, Help Center is very helpful. All right, so I'm gonna leave everything else blank. You know what? I want to add a photo to this, so I'm just gonna drag and drop a photo in, and I'm going to hit save. Now at this point, this item is added. You'll see it generated a SKU. It's letting me know what I just added. You'll also notice that this top part is grayed out because now I can add my second item, and then my third item and my fourth item. So let's go ahead and add something else here. Right, and let's do 2 of these, and the total cost quantity on these is going to be 2,500. You're going to notice the unit cost is 1,250 because there's 2, and I put the total cost was 2,500, so it broke down that each one costs 1,250, and we're going to say we're going to sell these for $3,000. Let's add a small description. All right, and again, fill in any other information you'd like, and we can add a image to this. Let's go ahead and add an image, and we're gonna hit save, and now we've saved those 2. See, we added 2 more items there, so we've received 3, and it's giving you a total. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but again, you may need to be importing a whole bunch of inventory, and doing it one by one might not be the way you want to go. So we do have an inventory import procedure. So once again, click on the little life vest, the little lifesaver, hit Help Center, brings you to the Help Center, and let's say inventory import. Receiving inventory from a spreadsheet file. This is the one we want. Click on that, and you have your inventory import. It will let you know how to download the template file and how to set it up. And again, just like we noted in contacts, you will want to bring this to your support, to support@dcit.com. Show them, say, hey, am I doing this right? And they'll make sure they guide you on the right path on importing. Now, another very key thing, and this is listed in the instructions on the Help Center, is when you do an import, okay, you would be setting up import files for each supplier. In this case, my supplier is Midviani. I want a sheet with just the Midviani items. Then I'm going to add inventory from the East India Trading Company. I'm going to have a sheet just for the East India Trading Company. Secondly to that, you're going to split up your supply types. So if Midviani, that supplier, you have some owned items, purchased items, and some consignment items, you're going to break those into 2 separate files. So you are going to be setting up multiple files for your import, but it does work very seamlessly. Once you set up your file, and this is all in the instructions will guide you on setting up your file. You choose your supplier, you fill in some other information like your reference ID, some notes if you would like some notes, and then the choose file button here. Obviously you choose your supply type, and then you choose file, and you will choose the import file. But like I said, the support staff will definitely guide you through this process. Just pop them an email when you're ready. All right, so let's actually go to inventory. SKUs are the physical items. You'll also notice you have a model list here. But let's go to SKUs. Let's see the bunch of SKUs. Okay, let's take a look at this one that I just added here. See the photo. If we wanted to print the tag, we could print the tag. Let's say we forgot to do it then, or we didn't have a tag printer ready or set up at that point. And remember, I did mention the model. Let's go ahead and take a look at the model record. So here's the model record. The model does have some additional information in it, and if you have a Shopify integration, those features will be here. Great, so now that we have some inventory in, some contacts in, let's go ahead and make some sales. Let's go to point of sale, and let's click on customer. Over here, we can look up the customer. the first name, the last name, a combination of the name, phone number, email address. In this case, let's go ahead and type in Sparrow. Click on Jack Sparrow. We have a bunch of information that comes up. If Jack had some recent transactions, we would see that. Hit the plus button to add Jack to the transaction. At this point, we can start scanning the items Jack is purchasing. You can use the scan button. That will let the system know that you're ready to scan using a barcode scanner. If you don't have a barcode scanner, you can use the stock lookup and look something up by stock number, vendor style number, which is the model number. You could look things up by parts of the description. I'm going to type in a number here, and let's go ahead and pull up this item. You notice you can modify the tax, apply discounts. Let's add that item to the transaction. And then let's go ahead and click the charge button. Over here is where we have some tendered options. If you have credit card integration, which is a great way to go, we do have an integration page on our website that lets you know which credit card processors we integrate with. Let's pull that information up from DCIT.com. So let's go to BusinessMind, integrations, and go to card payments. You'll see we support Clear It, Chosen Payments, TSYS, and Heartland. All right, so let's go back here. Obviously, besides that, you have cash options, other options, checks, and so on. Your other option list you can populate by typing. This will be blank when you first start because you haven't filled in anything. But let's go ahead and do the credit card transaction with the processor. So I'm going to insert my card, or Jack's going to insert his card and follow the prompts on the payment terminal. And now we will get our receipt printout options. I'm going to say no thank you to this receipt, and I just want to go back to the new sale at this point. Now, I do want to show you that we discussed how we added a contact from the contacts homepage. You can add a contact directly from the point of sale. So when you go to customer, you'll notice a new customer button. If you click on that, you can fill in the information. So let's go with, let's see, let's put in Bruce Banner. We could save this right now, first name, last name, but let's put in a little bit of extra information. The Hulk at Avengers.com. All right, because Bruce is the Hulk. Let's put in a phone number. All right, and let's make up an address here. And again, you put in the zip code, automatically fills in these. We can set some more information. We got an anniversary, a birthday. Now, again, I'm filling in a lot of information here. You do not need to fill in all the information. When you're filled in the information that you would like, you hit save. Now we can look up the stock item, and we could go ahead and add an item to the sale. And you know, we're gonna do let's do Apple Pay. There you go. So that's how we paid there, and we could print the receipt. Now actually, let us look at a receipt. Here's a receipt from Steve Rogers, and there's a couple things on here that's important that you want to change right off the bat. You'll notice the top header image says contact support for an info on adding your logo and company info here. Well, you want to submit your logo with your company info. Just submit that to support and they'll add it here. In addition, there's a footer note. We can add a footer note to the various printouts. If you do not want a footer note, all you have to do is inform support, say, hey, remove the footer note. If there's a footer note you want to add, just type it out, send it to us, and they will copy and paste it and add the setting in. So please make sure you spell check that and get it to us exactly how you want to see that. The header image does have some important sizing. So let's go back to the Help Center and let's type in logo, adding your company info and logo to your printouts. Come here, it will let you know you want it to be 300 resolution, 1140 width, 200 height. Kind of shows you a couple of examples here, and there's also a example printout here as well. Again, these are things that you definitely want to set up as you start using BusinessMind so that your customers are getting the proper printouts. So we've discussed contacts, inventory, and making a few sales. This is how you want to start using BusinessMind. Get your contacts in, focus on getting your inventory in, and then you can move on to sales. Listen, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. And remember, the Help Center is your friend, and feel free to submit any question to support@dcit.com. They are there to assist you. Have a good one.